Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Look, Wrestling 101, classes in session. Pay attention to the teachings, that's from Andrew and Derek. I mean, these guys making a killing with no competition. Dynamic duo better than the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys. Everybody make some noise, mess with them, you get destroyed. They cannot be beat, take a seat. Watch them do they thing on the MIC. Face defeat, they cannot be seen like JC. Oh my goodness, it's a killing spree.
Hey everyone, this is Andrew from Wrestling IQ 101. When I'm not hosting our podcast, I'm usually at collarandelbowbrand.com. That's right, Collar and Elbow is the only place that combines wrestling with street attire. And I know what you're thinking, I want to look fashionable too, and I also want to save 10%. So head over to collarandelbowbrand.com and use the promo code WIQ101 and look fashionable and save some money. And now, on with the show.
Hey, this is Magic, part of the Fat Boys with Big Man Jay Wise.
This is Jay Wise, and you're listening to Wrestling IQ 101.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of Wrestling IQ 101. I'm Andrew, and you can follow Wrestling IQ 101 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wrestling IQ 101. You can listen right here on YouTube, and by hitting that subscribe button, you can check back at past episodes, current episodes, or even listen to this one. And today, joining me is the unbreakable Rob Fury. How's it going?
Hey, it's going really well, and it's like I told you before you hit the record button. It's great to be on Wrestling IQ 101 and just to talk with you, man. It's going real good.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to have you back. It's been a long time, and lots have changed since probably the last time we saw each other. Sounds like you're a whole new person, right?
Well, a lot has changed, yes, since the last time we spoke and saw each other. I mean, my life has changed completely as a person. I'm very, I'm completely, just sober now, which is really important for me, to maintain sobriety, and I don't do any drinking anymore, and any kind of painkillers. They got kind of caught up with me for a little bit of time, and, so that's, it's really a whole different person now.
Yeah.
When you're not on any of those things, you're really yourself, and it's the most genuine version of yourself. So, yeah, life's changed a lot, man.
So, Rob, now that you're talking about sobriety, I mean, how did this all start? I mean, how did this start from being something that you would use to something that you had to have?
Well, it's a great question. And, it's something that, for me, a lot of injuries kept adding up for me with the wrestling industry. So when I wrestled Grimm the first time in 2018, when I went through the ladder at the end of the match, I broke my neck. But the SWF at that time was running so many shows, very aggressive. Then it became, I'm still working full-time in the ring. Okay, well, we'll just take this to just get through the match. Then it became, well, I got to go to the gym, so I'll take this to get to the gym and work out. Mm-hmm. And that's how it really slowly kind of creeped up on me. And then I, to be completely transparent, I stopped the painkiller use and then turned to alcohol, which was a complete disaster. It just didn't change me for the better. It changed me for the worse. The product suffered in 2019 because of it. Other people were doing the writing, so the product sucked. And I was just not present and aware. So it became something where every day I needed a substance to then function. So it became really I thought like it's an affliction, when I went through it, and, I'm very happy to just be, me and the best version that I could be every day. So, but it did, I think it added up with the wrestling industry and the injuries and the surgeries, and, it creeped up out of nowhere. But, for anyone listening out there, there is a way out, man, and you can do it. And I did it. And if I can do it, you can do it, because I was a nightmare.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, because if people, they might have their doubts, right? Because, it's wrestling, and sometimes, rumors take sometimes more precedent over what facts are, right? Almost like politics a little bit. How do people know that they can trust you now? Is that something that you fight for every day now?
I think it became, for me, it was, with my personal life, I think it's just something that you gain every day. Mm-hmm. My personal life with, my family, with my fiance, say, with things that, with those things you just work every day to just be better. And as time goes by, I think you earn that trust. But in the wrestling industry, a lot of the things that were said about me when I wasn't answering all that stuff, it was those people who knew there was an addiction, who knew there was things that were going on with me when I needed to take time off and get better. And they kind of spun it where, you can't trust Rob. All the good I've done for people with fundraisers and things like that, and help people that were sick and all that stuff, it still remains true. So I feel like in the industry of anything in life, you earn it, and that's really what it's about, is just earning it. When people didn't know when SWF came back after 11 months, can we trust the product to be as good as it was? And it was better. That was, I think you earn it. You earn the trust of the fans, the people, the wrestlers, everyone, your peers.
Yeah, no, it's pretty interesting because MEGASLAM's around the corner. The trifecta has reunited.
Oh, God, yes, sir.
How does that feel now that, things that were on the horizon for you that came to a halt are coming back?
Well, to be honest with you, it's such a great thing. And I say that not in the sense of, I heard the podcast that was done on me about a year ago with other people that were with me for years went out there and said I was the X factor and the cancer of wrestling, and they were the reason why SWF was successful and profitable, and they were the reason why. Well, if that was really the truth, then the product that's out there now that's not SWF, those guys would be doing what SWF did. So for me, to know that since October 2020, when we returned, we've sold out every show we've done in the middle of a global pandemic, I can only say, to be quite honest with you, it's, my God, man, it is such an amazing feeling to have good people around me, to have a great team. The roster's phenomenal. And, I can't, how can I say, Chad Minnis, man, he just is a great dude. We had our doubts, our falling out for a while. But once him and I talked, it was just that magic that we always put together. And to see everything that we talked about happening now, my God, it's just an amazing feeling. I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah, I remember when we sat here, we talked about the trifecta really coming to fruition with you and Chad. Now, since some time has passed, some time has lapsed, some of these wrestlers that were on the table now are either signed with WWE or AEW. Who are some of the wrestlers that you want to bring in now? Who are some of the wrestlers that you're looking at to fill this roster up, if there's any?
It's funny that you asked that question because I was talking with Leo Rush this morning and last night. So definitely him coming back in. But what I do now is I don't just want to book something or someone that it's just, okay, you can have your special attractions like the Rock and Roll Express and SAVIO Vega, and those guys are great because they're legends and they're great and you haven't been seen. But when it comes to who I want to bring in now, it's so amazing that we talked about so many people that were on the roster back then and they were signed or about to get signed. What I'm really interested in is the guys that are right on the cuff of being right there on television every week, like your KTBs, your KC Navarro's, Jersey Muscle Society, guys that should be signed but haven't worked TV yet, like the Rep. Sean Donovan, who's done so many great things. Dan Moff. I mean, these are guys coming in to the SWF and the trifecta that I think is such a diverse roster that we can keep building. I'm so psyched about it.
Yeah, it's one of the coolest things. I don't really know any other state or any other promotion that has this kind of buzz around it where you can literally put your own little puzzle together and for the fans. So it's really neat.
Well, and Andrew, it's one of the things where I can tell you this now with my life now, with sobriety, with everything changing for me. When I don't think I appreciated the success that SWF had when we were drawing 500 people at the Little Leagues, the Berkeley Little Leagues, and the Jersey Shore. Now I look at it as like a blank canvas. You can paint whatever you want. And it's just such a great feeling, like just to me. I might not talk to Chad for 4 or 5 days. He's super busy. And then, like, I'll shoot him a message. What do you think about this? And he's like, I like this. And then I'll tweak it. He'll tweak it. Next thing you know, it's happening on the show.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of doing this. The trifecta, to me, we sat down 2 years ago, Andrew, to talk about the things we were going to do. And it's all happening. Yeah. Finally, it's really just happening. And it's just great. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting, right? The takeover is in fruition. So let me ask you this, Rob. You know, we talk about dependency, and there's people that maybe, it's a hard thing to do, right? It's a hard thing to keep sober. What keeps you going? What keeps you motivated to not relapse?
That's a great, you know what, man, that is such a great word. Because, in my journey, when I was, what they declared as me not being around in the wrestling industry, Rob Fury, the character or the brand SWF was gone for 11 months. During that time, I was struggling so hard to find my identity, to know if I even wanted to be back in the business. So what keeps me going now really is the love and support of the people that have stuck with me, meaning my family, my fiance, the wrestling fans who, what I went through was very public. When you're being called a drug addict or an alcoholic on social media by former partners, it was very hard for me. But what keeps me sober and away from the relapses now is just getting up every day and going, I know what that road leads to, and I know that road leads to disaster, and me being sober is enabling me to have all of these things happen, the great things we're doing now, and I couldn't do them with my personal life, with Chad, with the trifecta, even with SWF, if I wasn't. And I think it's in your heart, you have to just want to be there. That's really what it is.
Yeah. And it's cool that you're seeing, the reformation of friendships and partnerships.
Yeah.
But we got to talk about this, man, because this is a crazy card. From top to bottom, MEGASLAM is happening April 24th, 2021, right? And there's some crazy matchups on here that I think a lot of people would maybe want to hear about.
Well, that's it's 100%. This is when I sat down to put the show together. Me and Chad met. Of course, we don't see each other a lot, but we talked, and I said, MEGASLAM's coming up. What do you think of putting all three brands together for the first time ever? Like, we would do different shows, and you'd see standalone wrestling matches, or you'd see certain things. But I wanted the show to really be the stamp of what the trifecta is. And when we put it together, and when I started to write the show, because it's almost complete as far as the angles, the writing, the stories, I think I ripped it up 10 times. But the matches are completely, I feel like there's nothing on the show that people would be unhappy with. And I wanted to give it that diversity from the old school wrestling to everything you could possibly imagine. And that's what's really cool about it. Like, the show is, I think it has something for everyone. And I think that when you look at MEGASLAM as a whole, there are some matches on this thing that they're crazy. Like, I never thought you'd see certain things that we're doing.
Yeah.
But they're happening.
Yeah.
They really are happening, and it's such a cool thing.
The first match I wanted to actually talk to you about with this is pretty interesting matchup itself. Vita Von Star, she's taking on Casey Cattell. I mean, both women, right? They're killing it. I mean, Casey Cattell was just in Florida like last week, right? I mean, how crazy is that this match is really going to be a centerpiece for women's wrestling, right?
100%. I asked Chad, I said, what do you want to do for After Dark? And basically, what do you want to do at MEGASLAM for Pro Wrestling After Dark? And he's very interested and great at booking women's wrestling. For me, I'm very, streamlined. I'm very good at what I do. But Chad is, man, he's on the cusp. We tried to put different formations of the match together. Initially, we were going to do the Notorious Mimi or different people, and it didn't work. Mm-hmm. And then he came up with Vita Von Star against Cattell, and I was blown away because I think that, Vita Von Star, for anyone who hasn't seen her, she's phenomenal talent.
Yeah.
And Casey Cattell, exactly what you said, is killing it. And I'm just super, excited to see those two women go out there and really stamp up it really is the stamp of women's professional wrestling.
Yeah, it's
that match alone.
Such a great matchup. I can't wait for that for sure. Plus, I mean, this one, I think this might even, if they had a roof on top of this outside, it would probably blow it off because you got an 8-man tag here. You got the Foundation of Wrestling versus the Program.
God.
I mean, that's going to be a crazy matchup, right?
That is, when Chad came in initially in January to do a Hall of Fame induction for John Marzano, who's been around with us for a long time, we wanted to recognize his contributions. It started with, do you think it would be cool if the foundations, came in and did something with the program? And there really wasn't an answer, because me and Chad were not talking at that point, and there were people talking, we were talking through to other people, and then when it was agreed upon that they wanted to do it, that the Foundations of Wrestling wanted to do it, oh my God, I mean, it got over 15,000 views on the social media, and the program is a very aggressive heel faction. Foundation, everyone in that match has earned the right to be at MEGASLAM. And there are guys on that certain, like people like Lance Scaper and Kurt Bale, who used to come in and do stuff, for the Grim stuff, and you really weren't, fine-tuned. They are fine-tuned now, and they are ready. And these guys are main eventing, the double main event of the biggest show of the year, and it really is that big fight feel.
Yeah, it really is. It's crazy because you talked about JMZ being inducted to the Hall of Fame, and that's a pretty prestigious honor to give somebody. How did it come about, and was it awkward having Chad there at first?
Oh, man, see, you're asking the good question that people want to know. That's an awesome question. I mean, when I was driving up to the venue to do these shows in January, me and Chad had not seen each other or spoken in over a year. And it was, I really didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if we were going to go out there and have an argument or a fight or something. I was excited to hear what he had to say because as before all the nonsense and the bullshit happened, like, he always was such a great dude to me. And then when I walked in and I saw him, we just hugged, and we embraced and we talked, and it was just, all that stuff just went away. It just was like, I was there with a friend, and I was there with a co-producer, and then he produced the segment with the Foundations and Program, and I was right next to him, and I said, dude, this is phenomenal. This needs to be on MEGASLAM. And that was it, and that led him to, the trifecta came back because of that. And he wasn't working then with other people who used to be here, realizing they are not what exactly SWF does or what we do, and we just have a work ethic. So to me, it wasn't awkward. It was more of like very interesting to see someone I haven't seen in a year, and for him also to see a version of me that he never saw, which was a guy that reformed his life, and it was cool, really cool.
Yeah, it sounds pretty neat. I don't know if you've been seeing this or paying attention, but you take Dan Moff, right? And he's a scary guy in the ring, and you've been putting him in a fight pit, right? Basically during this pandemic. But you're putting him in the ring with Savio Vega. Are you a little worried for Savio?
That match came about with, it was about 8 o'clock in the morning. And me and Dan had talked to come to agreement where Dan would be a really big part of the booking organization and the talent of what we're going to be doing further.
Okay.
And I didn't, when Dan came in, I initially didn't know what to do with Dan. At MEGASLAM, I knew what he was going to do with the debut, get in the ring. And I'm going, you have a guy that is an animal. He's an absolute monster. He's a veteran. He's well respected. He's a killer. The guy's a killer. And I'm looking at the card, and I'm going, okay, what do we do? What do we have? What are we missing? And then the name SAVIO VEGA appears. And I just said, we're going to do this match. And I hit Chad with it, and he's like, I love it. And that was it. And Dan Moff, when I talked to him about it, he's like, I can't wait. And then Savio just cut a promo on him. So this is going to... The Savio people go, oh, man, he was just a WWE guy. Well, Savio hits hard, bro. This is going to be a war.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you. That's Dan Moff is like the one guy I don't want to piss him and Monster Mac. I don't want to piss off. I've seen what they've done, the carnage they've left.
Too great. I know Steve Mack, the Monster Man, he was... I love him to death. He was a huge part of SWF. I know he's elsewhere now. But no matter where he is, Steve Mack knows the business, and he's going to do great. Yeah. And having Dan Moff here, really he's worked here previously, but having him really here as part of the management team, as part of the roster, for everything we do, man, you can't ask for more education and more knowledge than that. So it's awesome.
Yeah. And it's pretty cool because there's going to be some Crow promotion like we talked about before, like we alluded to. KTB and Sean Donovan are going to wrestle. I mean, KTB has been there plenty of times. I mean, I remember him teaming up with Steve Scott in Arcadia or TJ Marconi.
Yeah. I love KTB, man. He's he's a very he's a great athlete. He has every version of he can work any style, and the cross promotion, especially with him in the AEW television, putting him in the ring for the standalone championship against Sean Donovan, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's been a while since he's been in the SWF.
Every match on the show is really just something different and cool.
Yeah, and it's pretty neat. Plus, I mean, you even alluded to it before, right? The up-and-coming stars in professional wrestling today, and you even mentioned his name, was Casey Navarro. He's been around the SWF for so long. And now he's part of AEW, but he'll be going on up against Matt McIntosh. I mean, you got to be excited for that one. I mean, the fans...
Yeah, for me, Matt McIntosh, I met Matt McIntosh. One of his first matches was at SWF in 2011. Great talent. I've wrestled him so many times. And Casey Navarro started here when, WrestlePro didn't want to do anything with him. So we brought him in, and he became, I got a phone call from Dan Moff about 6 years ago, and he said, can you put this kid on? He's going to be great. And I did. And Casey Navarro is he's killing it, man. He's phenomenal. He looks great. He's working hard.
Yeah.
And to have, that's what I said, I'm really more interested in bringing that talent in that's about to explode on the internet, on the television, you're talking about the internet, the TV with AEW. I think that's, my God, I mean, to know that this kid that started here is on television weekly, all the time on AEW, and he started at SWF for many years, working with Matt McIntosh, two guys that I respect. Forget it. It's going to be a killer.
Yeah, I mean,
It's another match that will blow the roof off of everything. It's phenomenal.
It really is. And this is such a cool lineup. I mean, you got ladder matches on here. You put like eight spectacular wrestlers in this matchup. I mean, what happens if someone wins this ladder match? Are they going to get a future title shot? Are they going to get some extra money?
For me, Chad had said, the truth of the matter was, Chad says to me, he goes, well, I'm waiting, that's his voice, I'm waiting for the car crash match. I know it's coming. There's going to be one match that's going to have, something where everybody goes crazy. And then it just is, we don't have a roof, so you can't hang something off the roof. So what can we do? Well, the trifecta medallion is up for grabs. The winner of the match can basically, take that medallion, and it's very similar to the Money in the Bank. They can cash it in for a title shot at any cruiserweight title in the trifecta.
Okay.
These guys in the match, I know the match has changed a little bit because other people had commitments in Chicago and certain people couldn't make it. But we put something on that's going to be great. And in the match, you have Steve the Body Lugo.
Yeah.
You have Will Austin debuting. You have the Congregation, the tag team in there.
Mm-hmm.
You have Mantis, who is an unbelievable talent. And, of course, Jay the Key Evans returning to SWF at MEGASLAM. It's going to be an 8-man war. These guys are ready, man. I talk with them daily.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. Also, we got to talk about this because this is a beautiful championship, the Trifecta Championship, right? I mean, how beautiful did that come out? It has all...
Gorgeous title.
Yeah, and it has all the brands across the side plates of it. I mean, it really... it's really something.
Everything we, I think when Chad designed that title, really is everything we envisioned the Trifecta to be when you and me and Chad spoke about it 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And see it come to life, and the man holding the belt is a monster. My God.
Yeah, Cerebus. I mean, he really is. I can't even put into words how physically dominating he's been in other places too.
For the first time at the SWF Get in the Ring show, and I am now 248 pounds, and I look small. And I'm a big dude. I look small next to this guy.
Yeah, but he has no small feet in front of him. He's going to be looking across the ring from Astro Morales, who looks like he leaned up and looked like he's ready for this match.
He looks great. Astro looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Former SWF World Champion. Astro is in the best shape of his life. Cerebus, Vince Series, whatever you want to call him, he is a killer. Mm-hmm. These two, and this is the best thing about it. This is the first challenge that Cerebus has had that is going to really put some muscle behind it. So seeing these two guys is going to be absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, like now that things are turning around for you, I mean, are you excited to meet somebody like Cerebus? Are you excited to meet, the people that, almost getting a fresh start, getting to really get to know these people again?
You know what it is for me? It's really cool because, back in the original, I call it the original brand, the original team, I was very secluded in a sense where I wasn't really able to communicate with the talent the way I do now. I wasn't really communicating with the talent, the other people who used to be here that now work elsewhere, do their own thing. They were really doing all that. And I was more of I was very introverted and not really speaking to a lot of people. But now, to just have the opportunity to talk with these guys creatively and just to meet them as people, and just for them to, well, this is Rob Fury, man. He's all right. It's just a great thing. It's such a cool experience for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this sounds pretty interesting. You're actually going to be in the ring at MEGASLAM. You're going to be in a 6-man tag yourself. You're going to be teaming up with Violence and Ace Marksman. Do you have any reservations? Because that's, you broke your back at MEGASLAM a couple years back. Is there any fear, or is it just something that this has come second nature to you?
Well, you know what it is, man. I really didn't need to be on the show.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it wasn't, let's put Rob Fury, the character, in there and book him in something.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I started to think of ideas, I had shoulder surgery in December, shoulder replacement actually. I need another one because the surgery didn't really work to the ability it should have. So I don't really have any fear of going out there and, this is to me is to go out there and be sober and to be Rob Fury and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole different story. And to go out there and team with guys that I know for many years that I respect and that we can write good stories with, to me, it's all about the storytelling. And I am so super excited because I think when it comes down to it, this is going to be a version of Rob Fury that people have never seen.
Yeah, it sounds pretty interesting, and I'm really excited for you. Plus, I mean, there's so many things on this card to dissect. I mean, there's still a triple threat match for the SWF Championship that King Jeter is holding pretty close to the chest, and I don't blame him, right?
Man, that triple threat, yeah.
Also, you got really big Brian Burgundy versus Anthony Bennett for the SWF Light Cruiserweight Championship.
Yeah, we're going title for title. The standalone cruiserweight. Well, I think there was some kind of a rib or something where the SWF Cruiserweight Cruiserweight champion, which was Anthony Bennett, became the Standalone Wrestling Federation Cruiserweight champion, and he's going to be there, and he's going to put the boots on, lace them up against the SWF Cruiserweight champion, title for title at MEGASLAM. Some cross-promotional stuff, and I think that's super exciting.
Yeah. Plus, you're going to have Jersey Muscle Society versus the Rep. I mean, you might want to set the fan back because this might go anywhere over there, right? Because these guys...
The Rep is a very intense team. Big fans of them. I really am. I mean, that's one of the things I could say is to produce the show. It's very hard to produce the show and then go out there and put the paint on and wrestle. But to see the things like that particular match, all the matches we've talked about, but Jersey Muscle and the Rep, it's gonna be oh my God, it's gonna have a little bit of everything because you got 4 guys in there. 2 of them are on television already. The other 2 should have been signed already, and this is gonna be phenomenal.
Yeah, and then plus, I mean, I always go back to MEGASLAM when I think of Rep Titus. I mean, what a performance he had just a few years back.
Dragon, right? The Ultimate Dragon. I watched that last night, and I know exactly what you think of. When I think of MEGASLAM, you think of, different kind of matches. Sid Vicious, Dragon. We think of all these different things, but Rhett Titus and Sam Shields in a pure rules match, which, to be honest, was not my idea. It was Rhett Titus's creative idea to do it at MEGASLAM.
Yeah, I mean, and that's pretty awesome when you get somebody like Rep Titus because he is such a phenomenal wrestler, and the fact that he wants to be at SWF and he's going to be there, it's pretty exciting.
To bring Rhett is on every show we do. Rhett Titus is he's a guy on the team, and him being here was something I really wanted when we returned. And I know other people didn't want him to be here; they wouldn't book him because of it. But Rhett Titus, to me, is everything you want to be in the wrestling business. The look, the character, the work rate. Man, it's one of a kind. 1 in a million. And this match with Sam Shields is another one. People are going, man, this is the sleeper match on the show. This is the one that could steal it.
Yeah.
Man, you just ran that. I know you're not even done yet, but I look at what you just ran down, I'm going, if you're a wrestling fan, even if you're in Pennsylvania, how could you not come to MEGASLAM?
Yeah, and that's one of the things that you have to be excited about. I mean, people are coming from all over. I mean, Astro's coming from, the Bronx, right?
You got guys from the Bronx. You have The Rock. We didn't get to Rock and Roll Express yet, but you got people flying in. Wrestling fans from, I'll shout out Ryan Moran, who drives out with his family. They drive all the way from, I forgot, I think he's in Virginia or something, but they come out to every show, stay in a hotel, make a big family gathering out of the SWF shows. It's just amazing to see people coming in from Boston, wrestling fans that are calling me up from all over the place.
Yeah, it's exciting.
How can I come in? I live here. What's the best hotel to stay in the area? It's phenomenal. And what's great is that we're at a hotel. We're running a show at a hotel.
Yeah, at the Motor Inn, the Holmdel Motor Inn.
And that's a very strange place to run a wrestling show. But it's my job as the producer and owner of SWF to take that area and make it a pro wrestling show. So you forget that you're in a hotel parking lot, and you got that MEGASLAM feel. A little different for us because we're not inside. The show won't have all the lights because it's an afternoon show. But it's going to be just so cool.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Now that you're running, are the shows going to follow the CDC guidelines?
Every show we do follows the guidelines. So basically, that goes with attendance. It also goes with the mask. Temperatures are taken at the door. All of our talent is COVID tested 2 days before the event, and actually signs waivers, liability and COVID waivers. So, yeah, we basically cover every base with that. It's definitely a new world, but we make sure that, the fans are safe, our talent is safe, and everyone working with us, like yourself, is safe.
Yeah, and it's awesome to hear that you're taking these protocols seriously because I feel like the fans, they want to be safe, and they want to know the wrestlers are being safe, for sure.
Yeah, that's one of the main things is, you want to make sure people, know they could come out and have a good time, and that's why we brokered the deal with View Stuff. Where, if you don't want to come to the show, or if you live around the UK, Florida, or if you're just going, I don't want to come out till this COVID thing's gone, You could sit in your house and watch the MEGASLAM for $15 on your laptop or television.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. And of course, we got to talk about this match, the Rock and Roll Express. I'm excited for this. I mean, I can't wait to see these guys. They've gotten older, but like a fine wine, they've just gotten better with age. I mean, they could still go.
Oh my God, I just watched, somebody had sent me recently the stuff they did with Janela. And I just went, my God, this is phenomenal. And these guys are amped up to be here. They're 62 years old.
Wow.
But they said to me right out, you put us in the ring with the best tag team you got. And we got a lot of great teams. But the Zoltan is one of the best teams I have ever seen in my life. And if people don't know them, they're going to know them after MEGASLAM. Because this is not just going to be, here comes your legends with a 5-minute match and they do a couple of spots. This is going to be a tag team war.
Yeah, it is crazy because, like you said, with the thing with Janela, they go out there with something they still have a chip on their shoulder. So it's...
Yeah. How great is it? To me, it's exciting.
Yeah.
Because you have guys that are in their 60s, but they're still the Rock and Roll Express. And I can't... for me, you have to be a wrestling fan to be in this business. And when I look at that, particularly what they're about to do, my God... It really brings a smile to my face to know that the Zoltan, first of all, are so grateful as performers and wrestlers to work with this team. And then we have the WWE Hall of Famers, NWA legends, WCW legends, still out there in their 60s. It's really a blessing.
Yeah, it really is. And plus, you got Shockwave coming up, right? That's 3 different shows, an hour each, right? Coming up.
Yeah, May 20, right after MEGASLAM, well, there's 2 things going on. We're going to be, the trifecta is joining LTW up on the Jersey Shore, SWF coming back home for a little fun with Divide and Conquer. So you're going to see SWF May 15th with LTW, Standalone and After Dark in Toms River, New Jersey. And then May 22nd is the Shockwave show, and it's a very interesting concept where we're doing, for the first time ever, all 3 brands with the separate shows in one day.
Wow, that's going to be exciting.
You have Standalone Wrestling kicking it off at 1 p.m. They're going to run their show. And SWF will be from 3 to 4:30, and then After Dark closes it up with it's just going to be so cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool seeing the trifecta is really rare, in real form, and really putting together some spectacular matchups for the fans. I mean, that's the best part. I mean, we talked about this a few years ago. The fans really win when everybody works together, and you can bring in different talents.
You're so right with that. Like, for me, I remember hearing about the wrestling bands that other people put on, so the talent couldn't come work for SWF and still work elsewhere with people that I used to work with. And I just thought that was the stupidest thing ever because, if anything, the wrestling fans win when we can go out there and put the work in. And I don't have a relationship with those people, and I never will because they're just not, look, I don't care if you love them or hate them. It doesn't matter to me. My life is just my life. I don't have a relationship with them. I never will. But what I can tell you is when you look at what the trifecta is doing, we're coming in there with no egos. But what the best part about this is the matches. Even with MEGASLAM and Shockwave, the wrestlers in the matches want to have the best match on the shows.
Yeah.
And that's what I love, is that competitive nature of what the guys want to do now.
Yeah, and that's awesome to hear. So for anybody who wants to get in touch with you to buy MEGASLAM a seat to MEGASLAM, how do they get involved in that?
Well, the best way, I would say there's 2 ways. Of course, the social media with SWF Facebook or Twitter or all that stuff, Instagram, or even me directly at Rob Fury. Or you can just go over to the website. You can click up and purchase tickets to all of the wrestling shows, including the shows at Boardwalk Buds in June, Atlantic City. And the website is www.swflive.org. And all trifecta shows right now that we've announced are on the website for sale.
Awesome. And I can't wait to see you in person.
I'm super excited, man. It's been too long.